Number 1 best free-to-play Hydra team. Yes, you have these champions. What's up, guys? MtgJedi here. How you doing today? Welcome back for another Raid Shadow Legends video. Today, I wanted to make the most accessible Hydra team I could possibly think of. So I've used Doom Tower champions, I've used login champions, and then we'll talk about how to upgrade this based on other champions that you're likely to have on your account. So let's jump in here. Let's go ahead and start on hard Hydra, because I don't think that we're going to be survivable enough or really have enough damage to free our champions with this low of a setup, this accessible of a setup. So we have Mythrala here, which means that you have been trying Hydra for a little while with a varied amount of success, probably 1 king normal, getting some amount of chests on hard. You've been playing the game for a little while. You've been doing Doom Tower, so you have Varl. You've been playing the Doom Tower a while, so you have Rian the Conjurer. You've logged in, so you have Grush and Vizix, and you've pulled a couple shards along the way, so you have Ugo. I couldn't figure out a way to put block buffs in the team without using someone like an Ugo. If you have another idea, please let me know. I guess we could have used Monkey King in there. If you wanted to use Monkey King, you'd have to restructure the whole team though. So I didn't. I used Ugo. But obviously, there are plenty of champions that are good in Hydra now, and it depends on your account who's going to be the best. The first champion we're going to replace along the way is going to be Grush. Obviously, he's not the best, but you'll be surprised. He does a little bit of damage, and his kit is nice. In case you've forgotten about him, he has a decreased attack. The decreased crit damage, not really going to help. And then he has these sweet continuous heals. I also put this blessing on him to boost the heals from his continuous heals. And in case you forgot about Rian the Conjurer, she's sweet, okay? The removal of the buffs is great. She places the weaken, so that can go through the poison cloud. And this pairs really well with Ugo. We do need her in the team as our revive champion, and she can help out with block buffs on the A1 if Ugo misses. I think everybody else is pretty commonplace. A lot of people are not using Vizix for the provoke, decrease speed, and ally protection, but you should be. And let's jump in here and get started on the run. Let's see what kind of damage we are putting out. We are on hard Hydra, level 280, and I always try to target this stupid head of decay because it ruins my day, right? I do have Vizix in a provoke set. I think that that's the only important one, but we will take a look at the builds. And you can see here we're off to a good start. Varl is going to do a lot of good damage for us, and then the rest of the damage is going to come from Hex from Mythrala. So we don't have a ton of damage in this team, as you're going to see, and we're not anywhere close to my goal of 1,000,000 damage per turn in our teams, but this is all accessible champions for you. So if that is not true, let me know. And if it is true, obviously let me know. We're not going to keep the head of decay provoked for the entire fight, but we are going to keep it provoked a lot of the fight. And how much we keep it provoked, it really depends on how successful we're going to be. And every time we can skip this head respawning is very good for us. Also, the fear head, the head of torment, it's not really that good for us, so replacing Grush with somebody like Inquisitor Shamail, or replacing Rian with Rector Drath, like other options would help us as well, so if you have those, consider making those swaps. Now, this damage is going very well. We've kept the head of decay locked down, we're doing good damage on it, and we've been able to, most importantly, keep block buffs up on Wrath. I'm a little bit concerned without block buffs on here, but we want to kill the head of decay as quickly as possible. And then we also want to be able to free our champions. Now, As long as we can do this, then we're going to be able to one key on basically full auto with just clicking a couple of, heads and doing not a lot. I did try to think about the builds in terms of a mid-game perspective, or somebody trying to level up their teams and maybe use their better champions on the higher difficulties and then use these champions on the lower difficulties. We got pretty unlucky here with the Head of Decay coming back out, but let's see how far we can go. Let's see how much damage we can do, and then we will take a look at all of the builds, and we'll try a couple other of upgrades as well. Okay, looks like we're nearing the end of the run here, and excellent result with this team here. Maybe we got a couple more turns in, but I think we're down one champion. Yeah, Vizix got consumed, so it's probably only a matter of time, but we made it to boss turn count 200, and the longer in the fight that you can last, the more damage obviously you're going to do. And yeah, we're definitely going to get another champ eaten. I mean, I'm going to try to free him. Who's eaten? Yeah, him. Okay, Grush. Spelled with an H, apparently. So now we have Varl down, and we had the life barrier on here. So it's probably the end of the run here. Yeah, okay. There we go. Rian, the last one alive, actually, which is kind of shocking to me. So this is going to end around 42 million. Pretty close. Okay, 41 million. And you can see here, Grush actually doing a sizable amount of damage for this team. But obviously, he's not going to be the best. So then we can talk about how to make upgrades to this team, and I would start with Grush. Let's actually go take a look at that. Okay, the easiest way to upgrade your damage in Hydra is to include an HP burn champion. I'm just going to throw Aphodus in here, and maybe we can test some other people. Scream at me in the comments if you want, but people always ask me, can you show off Aphodus? I really wish he was Aphidius, but Aphodus. So I wish there was an O, Aphidius, but unfortunately there's not. So any HP burn champion will do. In fact, Artak is probably a better version of him, but I do like to show him off from time to time. Maybe that takes away from the free-to-play nature of this video, but I feel like a ridiculous amount of people have this champion. Okay, we're still here on hard Hydra, so you can see the difference. And we're at about double the damage. Just right off the bat. Now, I don't know if that's going to continue, throughout the fight, but very quickly you can see we're doing a lot more damage. Unfortunately, we got cleansed there. That's the bane of my existence, but we did get the A1 provoke with the provoke set on Vizix. So far, I've been very happy with the Vizix provoke. And as I said, any HP burn champion will do. If I really was gung-ho about this, we could put in Mordecai. But I don't know that he's, gonna do a ton more damage than Grush. There are benefits to placing that HP burn. And another quality about Artak that would be good here is he's an HP-based champion, so he's going to be more survivable. And you can tell that we're doing a lot more damage here. Aphodus is going to bring a lot more to the team. And then other upgrades will come along as well, okay? Maybe instead of Aphodus, we could put in there some type of Nikmothar, or if you did the fusion for Estrid, where we're getting a turn meter boost, we're placing the decreased speed more often, right? We could even replace Vizix with maybe that Nikmo. And then as time progresses, you can replace more and more champions, okay? So I'm not going to play this one all the way out. You can see that we're at a significantly higher damage ratio here. We're almost at 500,000 per turn, which is a good, that's a good stepping stone, okay, to increasing your Hydra damage. Let's go ahead and explore a couple other things, and then we'll wrap up the video. Okay, so then after some time, maybe you get some more champions, and you can add people like Molly into the team. You can bring your Artak in there. You have your Nikmothar. And then this is the nice structure for a pretty decent brutal team. Let's continue to run it on hard so we can see the damage comparison. But this is really the type of leveling up that you need when we're talking about Hydra. Now, with this team, the only provoking champion is Nikmo in Provoke, and you can see based on the number of turns that we've gotten here that we are well ahead of the damage that we were at before, because Nikmo's boosting the turn meter, he's putting decreased speed on them. We have the HP burns up here, so we're going to be able to place all of our debuffs. You know, we have the Provoke from Molly to help out as well. Okay, I misspoke. We do have the Provoke from Molly. And then the backup Provoke from Nikmothar. You can see I'm still targeting the Head of Decay because he does hate me. Okay, he does hate me. And then this is going to cycle through damage a lot faster. Now, if this were like a real run, I would rerun this until we got block damage, or excuse me, block buffs here on the Head of Wrath, and that could spell disaster for us. I think we're okay. Let's see. Let's see if we're okay. Head of Wrath, are you gonna kill me now? Okay, no, we're okay. That was a close call. So we would be at even a higher damage threshold if the Head of Wrath didn't put those buffs up. But with this team, we're able to survive. We're able to use the leech to gain back health. We're able to kill the heads a lot faster. And another really important point is that in every team, you want someone or multiple champions with the Cruelty Blessing. That Cruelty Blessing, as well as Ignore Defense from your Live Arena Great Hall, are the two things that are the most impactful for progressing with damage in Hydra. And so now we're going to really scale here. We're going to start popping more heads. We're going to start doing more damage. Once more heads are popped, we're going to have more raw damage added to it because we're going to be able to attack the exposed necks, and we're going to really boost our damage. Not only that, but over time, you're going to be able to improve your builds as well. So, let's go ahead and let this run for a couple more turns. I don't want this to get like too far into the fight. We're not going to do a whole run with this team or anything, but this is the type of team that I like to build for lots of people, because this is champions you probably have, or with replacements, right? Estrid can go in there in place of Nikmo. There's a lot of champions. You can even use, what's his name? Shamrock. Shamrock can even go in that spot. Obviously, he's not going to be quite as good. But this shows you the most free-to-play team I can think of with some pretty logical, accessible, hopefully, champion upgrades to boost the damage as well. So let me know what you think about this team. I really want to hear feedback from you guys. Obviously, I don't need this team. I've progressed past this on my account, but I'm doing this to help you. So if this is not helpful, please give me that feedback politely. Constructive criticism, please. So I'll let this play for a couple more minutes so you can see the damage potential. Maybe we'll go to like boss turn count 50 or so, and you'll be able to see. The only thing I do on these auto teams is just target the head where we have somebody who's eaten. And then the rest of the time, I just let it go. You can see we have no answer to the fear head. We just pursue and push through. So we'll be right back, and then we'll look at some builds and wrap up the video. Okay, there we hit turn 50 there and pop some heads. I think I pressed record like slightly too late to see the pop, but I love the pop goes the weasel. And you can see here by turn 50, we're almost to the 1 key on hard. So that just goes to show you how some easy upgrades to free-to-play teams can really have a big impact. We're already at 18 million. I wouldn't be surprised if this gets to 100 million, in all honesty. But that is the story for another day. Let's go ahead and end here. And you can see that in this case, our Artak, which, you know, as I said, that HP burn is so important, he's doing the majority of the damage, which is pretty crazy. Nikmo, not too shabby. Varl, not in the best build, still doing good damage. And Mithrala hiding behind me there, 2.8 or 2.7 million as well. So, let me pull up some of the builds for us to look at, and that will help us. I mean, they're not going to be under recently used. No. So I think I'm going to have to search them all individually. So let me set that up for us so it's easy for me to go through the builds with you. Okay, Doom Tower successfully used to bring the champions to the front. You can see Nikmo and Provoke here. If you can't get him this fast, that's totally fine. But I have Provoke and a broken set. I guess we could do total stats. 274. And then I do have crit stats on him. Those are unimportant in every way. I have a bolster Molly. She's pretty slow. She has a little bit of accuracy, a little bit of resistance. I don't think that's really that important. The Rian build, I do like quite a bit. I like putting your Reviver in regen or some type of gear to get you health consistently. And she's around 250 speed, which is a really good speed to aim for if you want more damage in Hydra. Ugo is actually in a Guardian set, and that's a little trick of the trade. I like to put Guardian in a team where I feel like there needs to be a little bit more survivability. And then Mithrala, her gear is unimportant. I have her in immunity. That does not matter. I just haven't changed her out of that in a while. The Vizix in Provoke, again, right around that 250 mark. I like being up around the 350 accuracy mark, but you don't need that much for hard Hydra. You need like 250 for hard. The Grush build, okay, I put a little bit of effort into the Grush build. He has some defense, he has some crit damage. No, he didn't have 100% crit rate, but I just couldn't get it to work without stealing a bunch of gear, etc. The build that I'm curious about is the Varl build. I think I forgot to pull him to the front. How accessible of a build is this for you guys? I put close to 200 speed, 61k attack, and 251 crit damage. Also, 291 accuracy. If we're just using him on hard, it doesn't need to be that. This is not an endgame build. Like, this is not good enough for me to put him in a real Hydra team. But you can see I do have some ascension bonuses here. Like, I have a couple of reasonable pieces of gear on him. The accuracy banner with the accuracy ascension. You know, I have a little bit of effort into him, right? Is that too crazy of a build? Like, should I be aiming for more like 4 or 5k attack? His damage would definitely be lower if that's the case. That's why HP burn is so good, because you don't need crit stats for HP burn to be successful. Who did I skip? Artak, this is my hard Ice Golem build. He doesn't need anywhere close to these stats if you're just using him in Hydra. And then that's it, right? We did Nikmo, we did Molly, we did Rian, Ugo, Aphidus. He was missing a ring because I have that on somebody else. I have that on Zavia right now, and I'm thinking about doing a video with her, so I don't know the order that these videos are going to come out, but maybe you'll get to see Zavia. That just keeps his stats more accessible. Like, this is the same, maybe there's a little bit too much crit damage here. This is the same type of build as the Varl build, like the same level of gear. I would say it's not end game gear, maybe late game gear. A little bit more progressed than mid game gear, but you can see I have a bunch of 5-star pieces here, all right? Then we have Mithrala and Artak, Vizix, and Grush. I think that's everybody. Let me know what you think about this team. I absolutely loved using these champions. This was working out way better than I expected. And then with some upgrades, you can turn this team into a brutal or nightmare successful team for your account. That'll do it for me here today. Another Raid Shadow Legends video in the books.